Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's bird video. We're going to have a look at the weather. Let's do 14 days for today's bird video. Day 10 will take us to the 8th of March, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extend GFS and CFS Ensembles. Maybe run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that will get us well into the second half of March. I shall get over that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video release day was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. I've also released the EC 30-day extended outlook for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. So please check out those two vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share and subscribe on all today's videos and content. Make sure to everybody for doing that. There have been problems with YouTube today promoting uploading videos. So when the EC 30-day was released at 10 AM, YouTube kind of treated it as a private video, I think, and so it wasn't visible, you know, to the followers of that at GavsWeatherVids. I think it's all working now, so I think this 10 to 14 day will be, you know, promoted by YouTube, released by YouTube, I suppose, as a proper. As a public video. So hopefully everything works okay with this one. That's why it's a little bit late with me doing this one, because I've been waiting for YouTube to resolve the issues. Let's see what happens then. So we're going to start up with Central England temperature. The CET is currently sitting at 8 degrees, 8.0. That is 4.2 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 26th of February. So it's going to be close one thing, isn't it? 7.9 was the warmest February on CET record from 1779, which is 0.1 of a degree above that now. I think we're probably going to land up about 7.7 or 7.8, but we're still not going to be all that far away from 1779. So an exceptionally mild February, to say the least. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Norwich today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Norwich. We're starting off about average at the moment. You're going to find the upper air temperatures lifting up over the next 24 hours to become quite mild. So, you know, come back, keep us at 7.9 or 8 degrees. It is going to be very close from thing, potentially, this, as to whether we beat that CET record. However, by the end of the week, the upper air temperatures are lowering, becoming cooler then, but through into the second week of March, this period just here, it looks like I've got a warming trend. We might be seeing things turning milder, maybe rather spring-like through then. Precipitation-wise, so a couple more dry days to go. There's going to be more unsettled, though, from around the 3rd to the 6th of March. And then that's a little bit of a drying trend again as we go through the second week of the month. Snow road for Norwich looks like that. So a few snow spikes there around the 1st of March, but not a lot doing actually from a snow perspective, either before 1st or after the 1st of March. For Norwich, perhaps a little bit more encouraging though in Birmingham. It looks a little bit better there for Birmingham to get some snow maybe sometime around Friday or Saturday. Temperature anomalies on the 27th of February, 6th of March, coming out around to a little bit below average. Precipitation anomalies from the 27th of February to the 6th of March, near normal, perhaps slightly wetter than average around western coastal regions, a little bit drier than average in the eastern coastal areas perhaps. Later info map from earthandoilschool.net shows but bringing in a proper Atlantic flow today. So we've got another weather system pushing down across the country. So it's quite a weak one, but he's bringing some showery bursts. And then the high map wind goes back into the northwest. But we've got these southwesterly winds waiting in the wings, and they will be pushing in as we go through the course of tomorrow and into Thursday as well. Right, let's start having a look at some chart data then. This is how the latest UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Friday. Low pressure in control, pushing in from off Atlantic, looking quite unsettled. That low pressure then sinking through the country into Saturday, bringing some quite cold air in with it, and so that's where the possibility of something a bit wintry happening comes from through Friday and into Saturday. By the beginning of next week, we find that area of low pressure is slipping away to south, and then higher pressure is building to both the southwest and also to the northeast. So we're starting to turn a little bit drier there as we go into the early part of next week, with winds trying to get round into the east. I can't again bring this area of low pressure southwards across the country from Friday in Saturday. That will bring showers along as well as rain, possibly some sleet and snow in with it. That low pressure, that trough then just sitting around the country as we go through the weekend, bringing further spells of rain and possibly some snow mixed in as well. Through the early part of next week, you find higher pressure ridging up from southwest to the Scandinavian high. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic as well, so starting to turn a little bit drier but cooler as we go through but still cooler as we go through the early part of next week, and then heading up to the end of the icon run, where high pressure ridging from the southwest to the north beach, from the Scandinavian high trying to get going here, and that's probably starting to drag up some milder air as well actually by next Tuesday into particularly the west and the north, but even in the south, I think the temperature probably started to lift up a little bit with that one. Right, we said the KMA is looking again, low pressure sinking through the country the end week into the weekend. That will bring those spells of rain in with it, and then we've got more wet weather heading in from off the Atlantic through the beginning of next week, for heights start to rise to the east. So as we go through next week, we find low pressure out in the Atlantic, high pressure to our east, and that begins to pull up this southerly flow. Now that could bring some really balmy air up from the south and possibly get the temperature maybe to the mid-teens Celsius, possibly even a little bit higher than that through the second week of March. Well, depending how much sunshine there is and whatnot. So two key points with that pattern that the KMA is setting up through next week. Turning a lot milder, yes. Also turning drier as that low pressure gets blocked out in the Atlantic. Of course, I've got quite a Scandinavian high there, so the southerlies could quite easily turn into easterlies. If they do, then it will very quickly start getting cooler or even colder again. This GFS midnight run is looking, so low pressure again coming in from off the Atlantic on Friday into Saturday and Sunday. That low pressure sinks over the country, bringing further spells of rain and possibly wintry conditions as well. Early next week, heights start to build to our northeast and also to our southwest, and that begins to block the low pressure in the Atlantic. So through next week, we start to turn both drier and also warmer as well, more spring-like as the wind pulls up into a southerly southeasterly. Again, depending on how much sunshine there is, that is the kind of pattern that might give a genuine spell of spring warmth and dry conditions, so temperatures are lifting up potentially to mid-teens Celsius with that, I think, by day 10. Beyond that, the high pressure sticks around the country, so we keep that spell of very mild, mostly dry weather going well into the extended range. Just right at the very end of GFS midnight run, we start to see a few hints that the high pressure is breaking down and some lower pressure is taking over. This is a precipitation forecast based on that at GFS midnight run. Just have a quick look at the wind shear potential at the end of the week, if there is any. So, yeah, we've got shower rain pushing through on Thursday, and then it starts getting colder later Thursday into Friday. Another little low zips through overnight Thursday into Friday. That's just bringing plenty of cold rain. The high map wintry showers into the north and the west. And then that takes us into the weekend. So wintry showers mostly in the north, rain showers down in the south. Not a huge amount here from a wintry perspective there. From the GFS midnight run, here's how the GFS 6 set is looking. Again, on Friday, we've got low pressure right over top of the country and cold air starting to get pulled into that area of low pressure as it sits over country as well, so cool, quite cold and unsettled conditions for the end of the week and the weekend. Into the beginning of next week, that's when we start to see higher pressure building over Scandinavia and also to the southwest, starting to block off these areas of low pressure in the Atlantic. So again, similar trend for the GFS 6 set as we get into days 8, 9, 10. Higher pressure begins to take over to our north and east. Low pressure gets blocked out in the Atlantic, and we bring up the southerly or southeasterly winds. They bring milder temperatures with them, Yeah, so he's again going to quite an extended spell of drier and also milder spring-type weather there through the second week of March. Eventually, just a few hints that the highs beginning to weaken a little bit by the end of the GFS 6 low pressure out of the Atlantic, pulling up this southwesterly wind, so possibly brings some outbreaks of rain in with that. But there's probably about a week at least of much drier conditions there on both of the GFS output. Today, this is the precipitation forecast based on that GFS 6 run. Again, just have a quick look at wind shear potential for the end of the week. So, show rain pushes through on Thursday, and then that's followed by more wet weather into Friday. A little bit of snow coming in on the back edge of that band of rain, maybe through parts of Wales and Midlands. Probably wouldn't amount to too much, but looks a bit more significant for Northern Ireland and Northern England there early on Friday, and then a few more wintry showers pushing through, particularly through Scotland, southern southeastern Scotland, quite significant snow there. Some snow possible for northern England, Wales, and possibly the Midlands as well, just cold rain further south of that. So there could be some flakes around, could be some wintry conditions around there on Friday, which of course is the first day of March. Beyond that, wind turns into the south, so any precipitation going to just be rain then. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And show to everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think to all of our videos and content. And make sure to show everyone for doing that. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so much everyone for doing this for us. We need to put on around 80 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and fans to subscribe, that'd be amazing and incredible. And we will thank you so much everyone for doing that. Okay, GM again bringing low pressure in from off the Atlantic on Friday. That'll be bringing showers and longer spells of rain in with it into the weekend. We keep that low pressure around the country, further spells of unsettled weather in with it as well. And then heading on through to the middle of next week, plenty of low pressure in the Atlantic. Again, we're drawing up that southerly southwesterly wind. That's a setup by day 10, which is the 8th of March. Low pressure out in the Atlantic, high pressure way to the east, and up is coming that southerly to southwesterly flow once again. So once again, looking very mild there by day 10. But it's a little bit more unsettled. The low pressure is a bit closer to it, a little bit stronger, I think, with the GEM compared to most of the other output. But it's a similar trend, you know, it's just a variation of the theme, really. And the main thing is, of course, the southerly wind lifting up the temperature. But the GEM is a little bit more unsettled, I think, by day 10. And then the east looks like this. So again, low pressure is bringing lots of unsettled weather in with it at the end of the week and into weekend as well. Will be quite cold under that trough of low pressure. Next week, we start to raise the heights to both the south and the east. The low pressure gets pushed further away from us out into the Atlantic, so that by the time we get through to day 10, yes, high pressure is in control, sitting over and to the east of the country, and we're drawing up what looks like it could be a relatively pleasantly mild or even slightly warm southerly or southeasterly flow, but could again lift the temperature into the teens Celsius quite easily there, I think. Once again, it won't take that much, though, to twist the wind from the south-southeast to the east and become quite cold. It is only the 8th of March at day 10. We have to watch out whether these southerlies eventually end up backing round to easterlies, of course. Right, this is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from meteo.com. Showery rain pushing through the country over the next few hours and whatnot. Or the next couple of days. Then we go through to the end of the week. So this is quite interesting. This is Friday, 6 a.m. We've got some snow through Northern Ireland into Wales and also into Midlands as well. A bit more widespread, I think, with the snow potential there from the ECM through Wales, the Midlands and Northern England on Friday morning compared to the GFS. This is, again, just cold rain with a bit of sleet mixed in maybe down in the south and southeast. But I think for Wales, Midlands, Northern England, the ECM is a little bit more widespread with that snow risk. That wet weather gets out of the way from Friday to Saturday, wintry showers following along behind, so it could be a few flakes in with that. That's Saturday, so wintry showers in the north and west, mostly cold rain, little bit of sleet in the southeast. Again, And then, of course, we start turning things milder back through the early part of next week. So the trend is towards rain and also towards drier weather as we get through next week, with winds pushing up from more of a southeasterly direction by that point. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensembles today 4-day temp from the Icelandic Med Times. Come on, highlighter. Gets us to the 8th of March. So 26 members of the ECM Ensembles with low pressure to the west, high pressure is to the east, and we'd be bringing up winds from southerly direction. Low pressure is close to Ireland, so that's kind of like the gem scenario, I suppose. And then we've got 25 strong with the high pressure, more centred over and to the east country. Again, winds coming up from a southeasterly direction with that. So that's the driest option. Both of them should be relatively mild, though, with the winds coming in from like a southerly or a southeasterly direction. Now in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we're going to have. And this will get us to the 13th of March. So we have got 21 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure to the north, low pressure is to the southwest, and winds coming up from like a southeasterly direction with that. So perhaps a bit more unsettled, especially for the south and west, but should still be quite mild. 16 with low pressure in control over to the west of the country. There's some higher pressure on the Canadian side of Greenland as well, so that's unsettled and probably relatively mild for the south and the west. And then we've got 14 with high pressure blocking away to the north, low pressures to the south, and wind perhaps going in from a rather colder easterly or northeasterly direction with that. So bit of uncertainty by the time we get to the middle part of March about where things are going, possibly back to more unsettled conditions actually. But certainly around day 10, anyway, we have got some higher pressure in the ascendancy. CFS V2 finally, and then we're done, and I hope you're able to see this video okay. I hope it'll be visible once it's uploaded. Week 1, 500 millibar high zone from CFS, 27th of February to the 4th of March, showing low pressure way to the south, high pressure is out to west and also to the east. So again, higher pressure is taking over. It's just low pressure sinks southwards. The higher pressure is taking over and should become milder eventually with winds going into southeast direction. That is week 2, which is going to be the 5th through to the 11th of March. High pressure then centred between Iceland and Scandinavia. Now that looks like it could be bringing in a wind more from an east or a northeasterly direction. So that's significantly drier, of course, but could be rather colder as well, I would have thought, with the wind direction perhaps more from the northeast. This was quite pleasant though. This is week 3, to the 18th of March, and the high pressure is right over the top of the country then, so that should be very pleasant and mostly dry. And then week 4 looks like that. It's the 19th, 25th of March. The high pressure looks like it's going southwards, breaking down really. So I would suspect this is probably transitioning to more unsettled Atlantic-driven type weather. Of course, that's a very long way off though, so that's the most unreliable part of the whole thing. We'll see. Okay, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, and subscribe. And show everyone board doing that. Why not drop a comment and say what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thanks so much, everybody, for doing that. As I say, we only need to put on around 80 subscribers. So that's out to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub to your friends and fans to subscribe, that'd be incredible. And we will thank you so very much for doing that. Okay, I just say what's happening on my channel tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. Got Strat Watch coming up tomorrow as well. And I'm off out in the evening for a bit of dinner, actually. So tomorrow, the 10 to 14 day, it's just going to be a regular upload rather than a live stream. That's all right, everybody. Having a night off tomorrow. But you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And for this one, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.